Muskoka Iron Man, right? I thought it might be fun to go for a ride after work together sometime.
Hey, go. You been intimate with anyone since you actually?
What does that have to do with anything?
How you feel about yourself, emotionally, physically? They are connected.
I get these shooting pains. Oh, below the knee.
We're here in Sutter, Washington with Dr. Joanna Sedin, Regional Case Officer for the Centers for Disease Control. We're testing 20 birds for avian flu.
Hi. Sorry, I'm interrupting. This is Joanna, an old friend of mine. How well do you know her? No, don't even think about it. Joanna and I were married for 3 years. How could I not know this about you?
What's not in the news is that there's also sick people. If it's not avian flu, what is it?
Could it be environmental?
Well, exactly. And that strand of my investigation is being shut down by the Environmental Protection Agency.
Methyl mercury. They've never seen concentrations like this.
They're off the dial.
I gotta get that. I got it. It could be Carlos with the test results. Oh. What? David.
Yeah, Carlos, what do you got?
The fish are contaminated with mercury. Very
How
contaminated.
bad are we looking at?
50 parts per.
50 parts per million.
The EPA did an environmental assessment on that lake as part of the sale of the property.
Let me guess, all the tests came back normal.
Yes, so either the lake suddenly became toxic or...
The EPA's in on it.
What's the source?
Have Bob and Mako check possible sources.
I will. Oh, David, I need to speak to Joanna. Basically to tell her that she was right about the EPA cover.
Okay, well, I'll be sure to pass that on to her when I see her.
Can you put her on the phone, please?
Hey, babe. Okay. Don't be. Bye.
Whatever he said about me, it isn't true.
I don't know about that.
Let me guess, it used to be on Lake McGraw.
That's right. It employed 173 people during its peak and processed 456 million tons of raw timber into pulp from 1923 to 1964 when it shut down
In
operations.
those days, mercury was used as a kind of slimicide, mainly to control bacterial growth and fungi. What?
You said slimicide, as opposed to microbicide. That's funny. Slimicide.
What else?
Well, they spent 4 decades dumping their waste into the Lake McGraw watershed.
So why's it coming out now?
Well, the mercury could have collected into a contaminated mass.
So we think this toxic blob,
Toxic blob.
this contaminated mass is beginning to break up.
Why?
Seismic activity? The area gets over 1,000 earthquakes a year.
So the mercury biomagnifies. The contaminated fish get eaten by the ducks get eaten by the hunters. That's a nice little food chain, okay.
Possible source number 2,
The area was heavily mined during the gold rush.
mercury is used to help separate the gold from other minerals.
They estimated that 10 million pounds of mercury was lost during the process.
Yeah, but that would be like, 150 years ago, the mercury would have dispersed into the environment by now.
But some of that mercury ended up in retention ponds that were abandoned when the area was mined out.
But the ponds evaporated and left concentrated mercury that eventually leached back into the watershed.
Okay, scenario number 3, EnviroPower. It's a massive coal-fueled power plant on the coast.
They supposedly put in mercury scrubbers in March 2005 in response to the EPA's Clean Air Mercury Rule.
Could have been too little, too
We're
late.
looking at some sort of airborne contamination. Okay, I want you to get samples from each of the sites. Isotope fractionation on the mercury in each sample. Compare that to the mercury in the lake water. We find a match. We'll figure out who's milfing Mother Nature.
Milfing?
We're on it, David.
Oh. Hello? There's a foot between my legs.
It's a geisha move. Bothering you?
It's making it a little hard to focus on my meal, yeah.
Multitask.
You feel like coming up to Toronto for a visit anytime soon?
Not really.
Because you know we may never see each other again, right?
That's what makes it so hot.
You think?
Answer your phone.
Oh. What?
I have something I think you might enjoy, David. Looks like our little mercury contamination goes all the way to the governor's office.
No shit, really?
Yeah, Governor Gibson is part of an investment group that sold that tract of land to a casino and resort developer over 3 years ago.
Oh, and of course he's claiming to have no knowledge of any mercury contamination, right?
And he has the EPA tests to back it up. The question is whether it'll hold up in a court of law considering what we found out there.
$150 million land deal? I know a couple of good lawyers could keep that tied up in litigation for like 20 years, which is plenty of time for everyone to forget what the fuck happened up there.
I'll let you know what I hear.
Okay, thanks, Wes. You up for a little fun, Geisha girl?
What do you in mind?
Thinking maybe a visit to the governor's office.
Oh, I'm all over that.
Mm-hmm.
If there's corruption, collusion, or anything improper going on at the EPA, we'll root it out.
What are you going to do to clean up that lake?
What are we looking at?
Well, you've got a couple of choices. You could use biosorbents.
Genetically alter the bacteria with a surface protein
It
that...
binds itself to the mercury. Lake McGraw isn't the only mercury problem the state has had. We've been pitched the solution elsewhere and rejected it.
Based on...
Time frame's unacceptable.
Okay, how about pumping all the water out through an activated charcoal filter that binds the mercury?
Now we've looked at that too. It's cost prohibitive.
Cost prohibitive. Okay. Cheap, fast, and proven. Put a shit ton of electrodes in that lake. Electrochemically precipitate the mercury with a current and nuke everything.
Wouldn't that kill the fish population?
The fish are poisoned.
I don't think the governor's going to think that's a viable solution to cleaning up the mercury.
Oh, come on, Bosch. Don't be so negative. Put a positive spin on it. Come visit beautiful Washington. Now our lakes won't kill you.
You know, why don't you two leave the cleanup to us? And focus your talents on where we desperately need your help. Finding the source of the mercury.
There's one thing I hate more than a smarmy bureaucrat is a smarmy bureaucrat with a point.
Yeah, well, you threw some pretty good punches in there.
Not enough.
You've always been this feisty.
Want to watch me crack some walnuts with my bare hands?
So we finally got the mercury samples.
EnviroPower, gold, pulp, and paper from Lake McGraw.
I'm going to need results tonight.
Sure.
Okay.
So, how are we doing?
Ready to send off to the mass spectrometer.
Well, I'll do that.
So what about the pain journal you were going to keep from me?
Come on, Gordon. I don't need to keep a journal.
The Percocet help?
No, actually, the pain is getting worse.
What's your physio say?
Switch liners. Didn't help. Check my gait. I don't... The pain comes down like a ton of bricks. I am doing something completely normal.
Such as?
I don't know, like I'm sitting on my blanket under a stupid tree, and then it's like everything below the stump is being crushed in a vise.
experiencing a phenomenon known as phantom limb pain.
No, this is not a phenomenon, Gordon. I told you, the pain is real.
The muscles and nerves at the amputation site are still sending signals.
Okay, so that my brain thinks that my left leg is still there. I know. I wasn't asleep in rehab, okay? I'm sorry. I'm not a head case.
Well, you're a scientist. You like tidy, empirical solutions.
I like meds that make the pain go away.
Not gonna happen. Conventional medicine isn't gonna solve what's going on up here.
I can't have a relation... I can't have a relationship, all right? I just want my body back. I need to do something.
There's one therapy that sometimes gets results. It's a bit out there. It's all about that mind-body psychobabble stuff you love.
Let me guess, incense and rebirthing?
No. More like self-hypnosis.
It's an improvement.
So what do you think?
You've really got me where you want me, don't you? What time should play?
4:20.
That time.
What, here on the shoulder?
It happens all the time.
Uh-huh.
Look at all the skid marks. Desperate lovers pulling over for one last frenzied grope.
You're worse than me.
I got the head office call to take me off the Mercury case
When did this happen?
last night. I didn't want to ruin the evening.
Screw 'em. We're in this together.
They need help with the C. seal outbreak at a hospital in Racine, Wisconsin. A little off the map, but a good place to bury me. What are you grinning at?
I just cannot get you in the same frame as Carlos. What was that about?
I fell in love with this smart, sexy guy in Biology 101. Before either one of us knew it, we were married, and 2 years later, he fell in love with the guy down the hall.
Well, it must have been some guy, eh? Sorry, I guess that must have messed you up a bit.
Made me who I am today.
Meaning?
Meaning, no serious relationships. I like things open and direct. Tutu won't. Tutu per eat. The one who wants the whole thing loses it all.
What time is it?
3:30.
Pull over. I had the fractionation results. And? You should look. Have you told David? No. What do you mean none of the samples match?
Well, I mean, the mercury in Lake McGraw didn't come from any of the possible sources we considered.
All right, shit. Well, look, the mercury's got to be coming from somewhere.
It's just not where we thought.
Thank you for that insight, Rachel.
I think that was intended to be rhetorical, David.
Okay. Square one, theories.
Well, I was thinking that perhaps the mercury, and don't yell at me before I'm finished, that it has something to do with the red rain theory, and
Bob, you're not going to tell me that you think the mercury's from outer space.
No, listen, it's only one theory that the origin of the red rain is extraterrestrial.
He's right. There is evidence that red algae becomes airborne from a body of water via a water spout.
Could also just be high winds picking up red sand from
Exactly.
the Arabian
Wait a minute.
All of it.
Bob, do you have the mercury samples from the lake?
Yeah, right here.
Call them. Can you plot them by depth?
Sure.
Highlight the highest concentrations of methyl mercury. Where is it?
Deep in the lake, dead center.
Mercury converts to methyl mercury through organisms in the environment, correct?
Agreed.
Where are the purest samples of mercury?
eastern shore.
The most degraded?
Center of the lake.
Okay. Plot a line from here to here. It's a direct line.
From the purest to the most degraded mercury.
Points right to the source, I bet.
But do you have an aerial view?
The glacier. Well, there's only one way to contaminate a glacier at 14,000 feet. Mercury is airborne.
But we checked the air in and around it by our power.
We didn't look high enough, Bob.
The jet stream. That means it could be coming from the other side of the planet.
Could be. Let's get some core samples from the glacier's ice, see if that's the case.
David,
I don't want to hear another word about the fucking red rain.
Okay, so what is this thing?
Trust me, Mako. Have a seat. Put your legs up on a table. Yeah, either side. Let's have your prosthetic. Now, concentrate all of your attention on your healthy leg. And wiggle the toes of your left foot.
I can't.
You can. Focus your mind on your left foot and wiggle your toes. And rotate your left foot slightly. How does it feel?
I don't understand.
We're reprogramming the neural pathways associated with your injury.
That is one beautiful leg.
You have to come back here for a number of these sessions. You can commit to that?
As long as there's no sharing in group.
Focus your mind on your left leg. And practice bending at the knee. Try it. That's it. How does it feel?
It feels good. It feels really good.
All right, Wes, what the hell is
So goddamned important.
Yeah.
You know Charlie Gibson? He's been running the state of Washington for so long, we refer to the capital as Gibsonville.
You know, I've actually heard that.
Charlie's an old friend of mine.
Swell.
He called me the other day. He said he had some concerns with one of my operations.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I told him I'd have some FaceTime with you, David.
Time's up, Carl. This shit might work with one of your CDC grunts, but not with me, not here.
I don't know what you're talking about nonetheless.
Christ's sakes, just say it. The EPA is going to sweep this whole thing under the carpet, isn't
On the contrary, you have triggered a complete in-house review of procedure.
it? In-house, huh? Great.
And Charlie Gibson, under further reflection, has decided to step down, given the circumstances.
Too public a screw-up, eh?
The Army Corps of Engineers is working on cleaning up the lake. I managed to procure federal money from the National Disaster Fund.
What about the source of the pollution, Carl? 1 billion tons of crap coming from every industrial country on the planet.
David, you know as well as I do that that's an ongoing international debate. And many studies will be needed before we come to a conclusion.
Well, let's hope we're all around to see how that debate turns out.
And here I was, about to congratulate you and your team on some excellent work. I even had a little presentation.
I don't need your presentation.
You're a goddamn hard man to compliment, David.
Only when I'm looking bullshit in the face.
Can I tell you a secret? You're right about me. I don't care. I never have, and I never
wrap your tiny little brain around it. We can't live forever, David. Neither can this planet. So why fight it? Why worry about tomorrow? The future of the world, why should I care about that? Doesn't matter to me. So, fuck the future. Fuck it all. Fuck you. Yeah. I'm coming.
So wrong. Huge mistake.
No.
We were never supposed to see each other again.
Only lasted 72 hours. I think that's an accomplishment. Come in. Get your bag.
I was on my way to Racine, and I thought all of a sudden, why not stop off in Toronto? It's right on the way.
It's a 2,000-mile detour.
Yeah, it went by like that.
How long can you stay?
I think in the morning.
That's not long enough.
Sure it is. We'll quit wasting time. We just don't believe in a separately existing external world.
Gotta love those Buddhists.
They believe that we are inextricably connected to all other matter in the universe.
You know, that's very scientific thinking to my mind. The more we learn, the more we see how everything is interconnected.
Bob, examples from the glacier have arrived.
Core samples of frozen history of pollution over the last 1,000 years.
Oh, I'm sorry, talking to me. I wasn't sure. Him? Not him, right?
No,
Me.
you.
Yeah, hi.
I'm kind of the world's shyest stalker.
You were gonna call me. Remember? Yeah.
Cold feet. I mean, foot.
So how's it pain?
I'm working on it. Look, okay, what I wanted you to know is that, when I was with you that night, it was like I couldn't breathe, you know? And maybe I won't be able to be with anyone for a long time.
You're with me right now. You
Yeah,
realize
but you
that.
know
I
what
know. I know what you mean. I know. Look, there's no pressure. You gotta get your life back in balance and all of that stuff, but listen, Mako, this stuff with your leg, it's gonna pass.
You think so?
Yeah, I know so.
Hey, do you like barbecues?
I'm vegan.
Ah,
Yeah.
Oh, can't I do anything right?
You know, Mako, I remember you doing something really, really well.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What's that?
I don't know.
I just know Riddlemeyer's not gonna follow through on that polluted lake.
And this all came clear to you in a dream?
Oh, it wasn't a dream, it was a fucking nightmare.
Surprise, surprise, the White House is in bed with big business.
Yeah, well, there's no room for them all in my bed.
You know, there's something deeply sexual about our shared cynicism.
The thing that eats the shit out of me is how good he is.
What do you mean?
Oh, he so knows his game. Yesterday, he presented me with this. Token of his appreciation.
That guy is good. Knows how to get the knife under your shell.
Mm-hmm.
You're just a sentimental old slut, aren't you, Sandstrom? Qui chiptune vont, chiptune partit.
Yeah, that too. Choose a trip to Wisconsin over more incandescent sex with me.
Christ, you're an
Well, I'm gonna hold my breath. I couldn't drown.
Would have made it a lot easier to go to the scene.
These are the mass spec results we got back on the ice core samples. So we can see that over the past 1,000 years, the glacier had normal trace amounts of atmospheric mercury until 1972. See, at that point, we see that the concentration increases slowly and steadily until the late 1980s.
Then it's hockey sticks, so what's the source?
Chinese coal-burning power plants came online around 1971, 1972.
The Chinese economy's growth mirrors this graph. In the late 1980s, it began to take off.
Now it's the fastest growing economy in the world,
With no checks and balances on it whatsoever.
with a jet stream conveyor belt right over us.
The scary part? China will bring over 1,000 more coal-burning power plants online by 2030.
All we do is debate. Great. You know, every glacier on the planet is melting, and all the shit that's in them, all the heavy metals and acid, it's just gonna come right out, and we're all gonna have to deal with it, because it's a small fucking world. It's so small that you do something on one side and it affects everything. And it's just gonna get worse, because the Indian and the Chinese economy is about to explode, and they've got no environmental safeguards.
North America is hardly blameless in all of this.
Yeah, we haven't even ratified Kyoto.
80% of our greenhouse gases come from our cars.
There you go. It's like the whole world is smoking this giant cigarette.
Is it okay to put this in the freezer?
Yeah, sure. It's all about the money, right, Bob?
Well, Mercury was the Roman god of commerce.
Hypocrisy makes me want to puke. Hey, you made it.
Hey, you all know Milo?
Hey, Milo, how do you want your burger?
Oh,
I'm good, thanks.
he's a vegan. Sorry, I forgot to mention.
Not a problem. I think I've got an energy bar in my sock drawer.
It's a mind-body feedback loop. Your brain thinks that the missing limb is still there. The motor cortex, language centers, they're all still trying to contact leg, right? But the leg is gone. So when my brain sees the reflection of my healthy leg in place of the missing one, it can finally achieve the feedback loop. And if I'm lucky, after a dozen or so sessions, my brain will have realized that there is no leg there.
And if there's no leg there, there can be no pain.
Wow, it's sort of a neurological amputation of a phantom limb. There you go.
It's amazing. Really is.
Well, good for you. Thank you. Well, I've got some reports I have to read, so I gotta get going. Cool. Bye. Bye. Nice to see you.
Yeah,
again.
you too. Bye.
So how are you?
I just got this from my son, Craig. He's in Wyoming doing research on black bears.
What kind of research?
I'm not really sure what the project is this time. He's such an adrenaline junkie. I mean, he wants to be as far outside the system as he can.
I know the type.
You know, 2 years ago, he took his motorcycle from Cairo to Cape Town.
Wow. And where does he get that from, you or your ex?
I think he's running from the two of us as fast as he can.
Reef,
Oh, thanks. I gotta get going.
have a good night.
You too.
And I can see all this interconnectedness. Birds falling from the sky in Washington because of the heavy metal pollution spewing out of the smokestacks in China.
We're fucked.
No, because the human community is only concerned with the next paycheck. Leaders for the next election. Nobody's thinking long term. Humanity has to step up, assume responsibility, face the facts.
Game over.
Tilt. Who wants to live in a world without hope? What do? if there's no hope?
Hope? Come on, Bob. The human species only responds to catastrophe. You gotta hold a blowtorch up to mankind's cheek if you want to get any kind of response.
What do we do, David, to make a difference?
I don't know, Bob. Drive a Prius.
Neurological amputation of a phantom limb. There you go.
It's amazing. It really is.
Well, good for you. Thank you. Well, I've got some reports I have to read, so I'm going. Bye. Bye. Nice to see you
Yeah,
again.
you too. Bye-bye.
She knows all about us.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Like what?
Like what is gonna happen next? Come with me.
What's gonna happen next?
A little top secret commando mission, Major. Just for now. I didn't think you were coming.
Come on, get in.
Oh, wait.
What?
Stop here.
What?
Come here. Stop. Mom, I'm kind of wasted.
Whoa! Like right here?
Just two. Me. Another eight.
David, I have something that might be interesting for you. An EPA technician who was wanted in connection with his massive land sale fraud was just arrested in a Nevada brothel. During questioning, the technician Larry Hatchek implicated a real...
Okay, well, what medications have you tried? Yes. Well, is she still conscious? Yes, of course. Thank you.
What's wrong?
That was the hospital in Marcin. Joanna's in quarantine there. She's infected with CDAD.
I still don't understand what's the difference between C. difficile and CDAD.
All right, C. difficile. Just one of a whole number of bacteria living in our intestines. Harmless unless it's out of whack with the other bugs inside us.
Now, what if it's out of whack?
And then we have a problem. It produces toxins that cause C. difficile-associated disease, CDAD.
Okay, so that's CDAD.
The C. difficile-associated diseases can lead to slow membranous colitis.
Basically, your colon swells shut. Eventually, nothing passes through, not even diarrhea.
So how do we treat it?
Well, in this case, it seems to be completely antibiotic resistant. Excuse me.
So if this was to get out in the developing world, it would kill millions.
Oh, yeah.
We put in the call to the Centers for Disease Control about 11 days ago. That's when we realized this wasn't any run-of-the-mill strain of CDAD.
Joanna had just been assigned here.
Yeah, exactly.
When did she begin to show symptoms?
So 2 days ago?
Anyone else?
Well, we've got multiple cases, but Dr. Sabine seems to be hit the hardest.
What antibiotics have you tried?
Vancomycin and metronidazole.
Okay, what are we looking at?
Toxic megacolon. Before you guys go in, there is one more thing that you should know.
What's that?
We stopped titrating Dr. Sabine this morning.
Blood in her stool, stomach pain?
Yeah, both. There's a definite constriction of the lower gastrointestinal tract, so we're keeping her closely monitored. You guys want masks?
Why, is it airborne? Fuck it. Hey.
There's a couple of pretty faces.
How are you feeling?
Okay.
We're gonna get you back on your feet in no time.
Yeah.
Joanna, do you have any idea how you contracted it?
Were you on antibiotics for anything?
You don't have to be on antibiotics to get it.
I thought I did everything by the book, but I must have picked it up in here.
Jesus, you think an American hospital would know how to observe proper procedure?
David, I fucked up. Okay, they followed his back. He got isolation procedures out of the letter. I just must have touched something. Got it in my system.
How?
I don't know.
Well, think, Joanne. I mean, did you ingest something, or... I'm sorry.
I think what David's trying to say is we don't like seeing you like this.
Yeah, well, I don't like being in here either, so... What are you guys gonna do about it?
We need to do 3 things. First, we need to find out why the C. difficile is antibiotic resistant. Second, we need something to fight it with. And third, we need to find out where it's coming from.
I'll get Tiger to sequence the genome right away, see if we can't figure out this antibiotic resistance problem.
Okay, good. I want Bob figuring out a way to kill this thing, all right? Every antibiotic and cocktail possible tested.
We'll work up some kill curves.
Tell him to keep elevating the concentrations until it dies.
What about the source?
Get Mako on it. I got her access to all the patient's personal and medical records. We'll find any and everything that connects them.
Right away.
Oh, not me, though. How long you been there?
A while.
Still a tough guy to pin down.
Listen, I need to tell you something. About us. What it was for me.
Christ, am I not sick?
Just let me say this.
Okay?
I never had a chance to tell you how much I appreciate what you did for me.
Kick in the pants, big deal.
No. No. You gave me permission to be myself. When I needed to go to Africa, you shut down my excuses. When I had to hurt you the most. Let me go.
It's because I love you. I always will.
I know that. And I love you. Gracias, mi ángel.
Create you too.
No, no, no. You haven't lost anything.
I'm scared, girl.
Don't be. We're going to beat this. Okay?
I tried to kill it, David. Nothing kills it, no amount of any antibiotic.
Nothing?
I'm gonna send you the kill curves.
I believe you. It just means we haven't found what we're looking for yet.
Well, it's too big. I'm gonna have to outsource some of the work.
Okay.
You know I don't like to outsource work. You can't trust other people's protocols and procedures.
I know, Bob.
Well, I'll do this time.
Thank you, Bob.
All right.
Sorry to barge in like this, but I didn't think you'd mind.
Good news?
Yeah, you be the judge. Take a look at this C. difficile. See, this merged image shows the in situ hybridization along with the morphology.
Wait a minute. Am I looking at 2 plasmids here?
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure that the one is carrying the virulence factors.
And the other one's got the antibiotic-resistant markers, but how'd this other plasmid get in there?
We found a deletion in a number of the regulatory genes in this strain. Do you remember the NAP1 strain?
That was responsible for that outbreak a few years ago, wasn't it?
Precisely. Well, it had the same class of mutations now. The NAP1 strain produced 23 times more toxins than anything we'd ever seen before.
And this new strain?
Twice as potent as NAP1. This thing is a toxin factory that cannot be killed.
What?
Okay, we just finished running the tests. Baby toys, books, bedpans, everything in that hospital, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Even the air ducts. And we found where it was hiding.
Tell us.
In a plant, David. In the soil of a fucking potted plant. Mums, they were sold as a local fundraiser for spina bifida research. Apparently, a local greenhouse applied all the plants. Do you want the address? Yes, sir.
Don't we need to open up from right away? Stat.
Okay. Yes, ma'am. I need you right now. Get up, please.
David, are you still there? David. David.
I'm shipping $175,000 worth of product. I don't ship these plants in 24 hours. I'm dead.
And if you do, somebody else might be.
Escuche, soy doctor. Pensamos que hay gérmenes muy malos en la Tierra. Oh, you might have the same thing as Joanna.
Listen, I support an entire village of geographists. What do you do for Mexico?
What do I do for Mexico?
There's millions of migrants working on farms in this state. You can't turn around all by yourself.
Tell them to send everything that they have, and then I'll cross-check it.
What's wrong, Bob?
Everything is fine, Weston.